Guys, I figured after doing a video talking specifically about Joaquin Phoenix's performance as Joker, I should talk about the movie in general. Now, I'm going to try my best to stay away from spoilers, but you should really see the movie first before watching this video because I can't really promise anything. Alright, so Joker is a radical experimental take on a origin story for Joker. Arthur Fleck lives in Gotham City during it's technically 1981, but let's face it, it's 1970s, where he is suffering from some mental condition, probably mental conditions, living in a pretty poor part of town, and a series of events happen that push him closer and closer to becoming the Joker until one bad day later, he truly becomes Joker. So, of course, like I said, I've already made a video talking about Joaquin Phoenix's performance specifically, so check that video out. But just to say a couple brief words, I love his performance. It's truly amazing. It is spectacular, chilling, relatable to a certain extent. It is. I can't really say much more than that. Now, let's actually talk about some of the story beats and stuff. Visually speaking, this shares a lot with the Scorsese film Taxi Driver. Although personally, I think there's more stuff actually happening in this movie than there was in Taxi Driver. But the aesthetic is there. As for actual, like, more plot or something that's more subtle, the lesser known film, The King of Comedy, another Scorsese film, has more of an influence on it, but in all the right ways. This film blends fantasies, hallucinations, delusions, and reality all in one. And that's really arguably the greatest strength of this film. Batman the Killing Joke is a famous graphic novel talking about the origin story of the Joker, or so we thought at first. We all know the panel, but let's just read it out loud. I mean, what is it with you? What made you what you are? Girlfriend killed by the mob, maybe? Brother carved up by some mugger? Something like that, I bet. Something like that. Something like that happened to me, you know. I I'm not exactly sure what it was. Sometimes I remember one way, sometimes another. If I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice. So, even though The Killing Joke does explore an origin for Joker, one that's been used in a couple of different properties, like the animated film Batman Under the Red Hood, or the live action film, the 1989 Tim Burton Batman film, Joker doesn't really have a concrete, definitive origin story, which is part of his appeal. And while the fact that this movie is an origin story may turn people away, this is a radical, experimental take on a Joker origin, completely separate from any other DC film. And if you watch the film, you know that you can make an argument that either this scene didn't happen, this scene didn't happen, or the movie did happen, just not in the way it was depicted. There are so many multiple choice ways, or so many other different ways one can interpret many different parts of this film. It is a multiple choice film from a certain perspective. And so, in that way, it could be argued that this Joker film is arguably the best kind of Joker film we're gonna get. Now, of course, some people may say that it's a little too similar to Taxi Driver or The King of Comedy, and I can get that. Some will probably want something that's a little bit more comic accurate in a sense, which is a little bit of a abstract concept because while Cesar Romero from the 60s Batman isn't exactly the best Joker interpretation, it is comic accurate. Anyway, there are going to be some people that just not going to like this film, which I can get if you actually see the film and give it a chance. But there are a lot of people that already have opinions on this film without even seeing it, which is expected for a lot of films, but with something that's getting as much pre-release attention as this film, it is kind of insane. I mean, as far as the whole violence controversy, aren't we done with this conversation? I mean, I think we're at a point where, generally speaking, movies, TV shows, video games, they don't make people do violent acts in real life. I mean, there might be someone who might think that because of something like that, but they're the exception. They're not the norm. Anyway, that's just my brief thought on it, on that whole thing. But again, I love the way this film was handled, all of the subtle nuances and many different hints, clues, and different interpretations one can get from this film. I've seen this film 3 times already. I'm not gonna lie about that. But look, I obviously gonna like this a lot more than other people. There are probably gonna be some people that like it probably just as much as me. Maybe there's someone out there that loves it even more than me. And that's to expect it from any kind of film viewing and reception. But yeah, I really love this film. So that's all I can really say for right now. If you want to see me talk about Joaquin Phoenix's performance a little bit more specifically, I have a video about that. You can probably already see it right now. So like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time.